Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. I'm so happy and excited to have you here with me. In this episode, we're going to talk about something that many English learners think about all the time: how to learn English effortlessly. If you've ever felt that learning English is too hard or that it takes too long to see results, then this episode is just for you. Because today, I'm going to show you that learning English doesn't have to be stressful, boring, or frustrating. In fact, it can be something you truly enjoy every single day. A quick introduction. My name is Ava, and I've been helping people all around the world learn English in a way that's easy, natural, and enjoyable. Over the years, I've seen many students get stuck. They study hard, memorize words, and follow grammar rules, but still feel like they're not improving fast enough. Does that sound familiar? Don't worry, you're not alone. The truth is, it's not about studying harder. It's about studying smarter and changing the way you approach English. Learning English doesn't have to be a daily struggle. It doesn't have to feel like climbing a mountain. When you learn the right way, English becomes part of your everyday life, naturally and effortlessly. What does effortless learning really mean? Before we jump into the methods, let's take a moment to understand what effortless learning really means. When we hear the word learning, most of us imagine sitting at a desk, reading textbooks, memorizing long lists of vocabulary, and trying to remember grammar rules. We picture ourselves studying for hours and feeling tired or frustrated. But that traditional way of learning isn't always effective, especially for a language like English. Effortless learning is not about being lazy or doing nothing. It's about learning in a way that feels natural, relaxed, and enjoyable. It means removing the stress and pressure that often come with language learning and replacing them with curiosity, fun, and consistency. Imagine this. Instead of forcing yourself to study for hours, you're improving your English simply by living in it. You listen to podcasts while walking. You watch English shows while relaxing. You think in English while doing everyday tasks. You talk to yourself in English when cooking or getting ready for the day. You're still learning, but it doesn't feel like hard work. That's what effortless learning is all about. Step 1. Shift your mindset. The first and most important step is to change the way you think about learning. Many learners believe that they have to push themselves really hard, that they must study for hours or memorize thousands of words to become fluent. But that's not true. Learning English doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. When you focus on small improvements instead of perfection, you start to enjoy the process. You begin to see learning as an adventure, not a chore. The less pressure you put on yourself, the faster and more naturally you'll improve. So, whenever you make mistakes, don't worry. Mistakes are part of learning. Every time you make one, you're getting closer to fluency. Smile, learn from it, and move on. Step 2. Surround yourself with English. To learn effortlessly, you need to make English a part of your daily life. This doesn't mean sitting down with a book all day. It means surrounding yourself with English in fun, simple ways. For example, change your phone or social media language to English. Listen to English songs and try to understand the lyrics. Watch your favorite movies or YouTube videos in English, even better, with subtitles. Read short articles, stories, or even memes in English. Follow English-speaking creators online. The more English you hear, see, and read, the more naturally your brain starts to think in English. And once you start thinking in English, Everything becomes easier speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Step 3. Practice speaking naturally. Speaking is the hardest skill for many learners, but it doesn't have to be. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need to know every word. You just need to speak often. Talk to yourself in English when you're alone. Describe what you're doing. Ask yourself questions and answer them. If you can, find a language partner or join an online speaking group. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become. Remember, speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about being understood and expressing your thoughts clearly. Step 4. Keep it fun and motivating. If you enjoy what you're doing, you'll never feel tired of learning. That's why it's important to keep your English practice fun and interesting. Choose topics you love: sports, music, travel, technology, or movies. Play games in English, listen to podcasts about things you care about, or watch shows that make you laugh. When you connect English learning with things that make you happy, it no longer feels like studying, it feels like living. Step 5. Be patient and consistent. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but every bit of practice counts. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference if you're consistent. Think of it like watering a plant. A little water every day helps it grow stronger. But if you pour too much all at once, it won't help. Learning English is the same. Small steps every day lead to big results over time. Final thoughts. Remember this. You already have everything you need to learn English. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay consistent, patient, and positive. Learning English can be effortless when you make it part of your life, when you listen, speak, and think in English every day, even in small ways. So from today, stop stressing about learning. Instead, start living in English. Enjoy the process, celebrate your progress, and trust yourself, because you're improving, even when you don't realize it. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you feel inspired to make English learning easy, natural, and fun. Stay positive, keep practicing, and remember, you can learn English effortlessly. Until next time, take care and keep learning. Studio Microphone Podcast Segment: Learning English Through Experience, Not Memorization. Welcome back to the podcast. In this part of our episode, we're going to explore one of the most important lessons for anyone learning English: how to learn through experience, not memorization. Many learners spend hours trying to memorize long vocabulary lists or complex grammar rules. They think the secret to fluency lies in remembering as many words as possible. But here's the truth: that approach rarely works. Yes, vocabulary and grammar are important, but they shouldn't be your only focus. Real progress happens when you experience the language, when you live it, listen to it, and use it naturally in your daily life. Learn English through real experiences. Instead of studying English only from books, try to connect with the language in real-life situations. Listen to English podcasts, watch movies or TV shows, read stories, and have real conversations, even short ones. When you expose yourself to English in natural ways, your brain starts to understand how words are used without you even trying to memorize them. Think about how you learned your first language as a child. You didn't sit down with a grammar book. You didn't memorize word lists. You learned by listening to your parents, watching TV, playing with friends, and speaking without fear of mistakes. Little by little, your brain made connections, and soon, you could speak fluently. The same process works for English too. The more you surround yourself with the language, the faster and more naturally you'll learn it. Make learning a daily habit. Effortless learning happens when English becomes part of your everyday routine. You don't need to block out long study hours or stress about lessons. Instead, mix English into the activities you already do. For example, listen to an English podcast while you commute or exercise. Watch your favorite movies or series with English subtitles. Change the language settings on your phone or social media to English. Read the news, captions, or even comments in English. These small actions may seem simple, but they have a huge impact over time. They help your brain get comfortable with English naturally without feeling like you're studying. Focus on listening and speaking. Many learners find speaking to be the hardest skill. They worry about making mistakes, so they avoid speaking altogether. But here's the secret: the more you speak, the easier it gets. Focus on listening and speaking instead of just reading and writing. These are the most natural ways we learn any language. When you listen to English regularly, you start recognizing common patterns, phrases, and sentence structures. And when you speak, even with yourself, you practice using those same words in real situations. Don't worry about being perfect. The goal isn't to sound like a native speaker, it's to feel comfortable expressing yourself. Here's a simple exercise you can try today. When you're doing something routine like cooking, cleaning, or walking, talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing. Ask yourself questions. It might feel funny at first, but it's one of the best ways to build confidence and fluency. Celebrate small wins. Learning English effortlessly doesn't mean becoming perfect overnight. It's about small, steady progress, one step at a time. So, celebrate your small wins. Maybe you understood a new word today. Maybe you finished a conversation without switching to your native language. Or maybe you watched a movie and understood most of it without subtitles. Each of these moments is a sign of growth. When you focus on these little victories, you'll stay motivated and feel proud of your progress, instead of feeling frustrated or stuck. Remember, every small step counts. Consistency over intensity. Here's another key principle of effortless learning: consistency matters more than intensity. You don't have to study for hours every day. In fact, short, regular practice sessions are much more effective than long, tiring ones. Even 10 to 15 minutes of English a day can lead to real improvement if you stay consistent. Think of it like exercising. You don't get fit by working out for 5 hours once a week. You get fit by moving a little every day. Learning English works the same way. Steady practice builds strong habits and lasting skills. Let it be fun. Finally, remember this: effortless learning is fun learning. If you enjoy the process, you'll naturally want to keep going. Find ways to make English interesting for you. If you love music, listen to English songs and learn the lyrics. If you enjoy movies or games, use them as tools to learn. If you like talking to people, join online communities or language exchange groups. The more you enjoy the process, the less it will feel like studying, and the faster you'll improve. In conclusion, effortless learning is not about avoiding effort. It's about removing unnecessary pressure. It's about learning in a way that feels natural, relaxed, and part of your real life. By shifting your mindset, focusing on real experiences, listening and speaking often, celebrating small wins, staying consistent, and keeping it fun, you'll start to see real progress without the stress that comes with traditional methods. Immerse yourself in English. live it, enjoy it. And remember, every time you listen, speak, or think in English, you're becoming more fluent. So keep going and let English become a natural part of your world. Podcast segment, The Power of Immersion Living in English. Welcome back. Now that we've talked about learning through experience, let's dive into one of the most powerful methods for learning English effortlessly, immersion. Immersion is one of the biggest keys to fluency. It's the idea of surrounding yourself with English as much as possible, so the language becomes a natural part of your daily life. What is immersion? So, what exactly is immersion? Immersion means living in English, hearing it, reading it, speaking it, and thinking in it every single day. When you immerse yourself in English, you don't just study it for an hour and stop. You experience it constantly in small, natural ways. You listen to it while you walk, read it online, and even think about your plans in English. It's just like how you learned your first language as a child. You didn't memorize grammar rules or vocabulary lists. You learned by being surrounded by the language. You listened to your parents talk, watched TV, and played with friends who spoke it. Over time, your brain connected sounds and meanings automatically. Language learning works the same way at any age. The more you expose yourself to English in real, everyday situations, the easier it becomes to understand, speak, and even think in English. But here's the secret. The key is consistency. Immersion works best when it's part of your daily routine. A little bit every day is far more effective than a lot once in a while. How to immerse yourself in English? Let's look at some simple but powerful ways to bring English into your daily life. Listen to English content regularly. Listening is one of the best and easiest ways to immerse yourself in English. The more you listen, the more you'll recognize sounds, understand sentence structures, and get a natural feel for how English flows. The best part? You can do it anytime while you're cooking, walking, cleaning, or commuting. Here are some ideas. Podcasts. Choose podcasts that match your English level and interests. You can find ones about stories, interviews, culture, self-improvement, or even fun topics like movies and travel. For example, you might listen to English Learning Made Easy or other beginner-friendly podcasts. Music. Listening to English songs is not just fun, it's powerful. Pay attention to the lyrics and try to understand the meaning. Sing along, yes, really. It improves your pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence. Audiobooks. If you love reading, audiobooks are a great way to combine listening and reading. Choose books you enjoy and follow along with the text as you listen. This helps you learn new vocabulary and context and improves your comprehension naturally. Movies and TV shows. Watching English shows is another fantastic form of immersion. Start with subtitles in your own language, then switch to English subtitles as you improve. Over time, try watching without subtitles at all. You'll pick up everyday vocabulary, slang, and expressions that native speakers actually use. Change your environment to English. To truly immerse yourself, bring English into your environment so you see and hear it everywhere. Here are some easy ways to do that. Change your phone and social media settings to English. The more you see English words every day, the more familiar they'll become. Soon, you won't even have to translate in your head, you'll just understand. Label things around your home. Take sticky notes and label common items like mirror, refrigerator, door, or desk. Each time you see or use them, you'll be reminded of their English names. Follow English accounts online. Follow Instagram pages, YouTube channels, or Facebook groups that share English content. Whether it's motivational quotes, tutorials, or funny videos, seeing English daily helps you absorb new words naturally. Remember, these small changes make a big difference over time. Engage in conversations with native speakers. One of the most effective and exciting ways to immerse yourself is by speaking with people who speak English fluently. Conversations help you apply what you've learned in real-life situations, and they build your confidence fast. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you're trying and improving. Here are a few ways to practice speaking. Language exchange. Find a partner who wants to learn your language while helping you with English. You can chat online or in person half the time in English, half in your language. Online communities. Join English-speaking groups on apps like Discord, Facebook, or Reddit. Comment, share opinions, and ask questions in English. It's great for both writing and conversation practice. Speaking practice apps. There are many apps where you can practice speaking with real people or even AI tutors. Use them to train your pronunciation and get comfortable speaking naturally. Remember, fluency comes from using English, not just studying it. Every conversation, no matter how short, helps you improve. The secret to true immersion. Immersion doesn't mean forcing yourself to study all day. It means making English part of your life, not just part of your study time. You can listen while exercising, think in English while cooking, or describe your surroundings out loud as you walk. The goal is to make English so familiar that it stops feeling like a foreign language. It just becomes part of who you are. In summary, immersion is one of the most powerful ways to learn English effortlessly. It's about surrounding yourself with English every day, listening, reading, and speaking regularly, changing your environment so English is always around you, practicing with real people, and most importantly, staying consistent. When you live in English, you don't have to study it. You naturally start to feel it, understand it, and use it without thinking too hard. So, take small steps today. Turn on an English podcast. Label a few things in your room. Watch a short video in English. Do this every day, and soon, English will stop feeling like a subject. It'll feel like second nature. Podcast segment: Immersing yourself in English through practice. Welcome back, everyone. In this part of our episode, we're going to continue exploring how you can immerse yourself in English, not just by listening or watching, but also by interacting, reading, and writing in the language every day. Immersion is all about surrounding yourself with English until it feels like a natural part of your life. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. So, let's dive into some practical ways to do that. Find a language partner. One of the best ways to practice speaking and listening is by finding a language partner. This means connecting with someone who wants to learn your native language while helping you practice English. It's a win-win situation. You can spend half of your conversation speaking in English and the other half in your own language. This way, both of you learn naturally through real communication. There are many great apps and websites where you can meet language partners. for example, Tandem, HelloTalk, and Speaky. You can chat by text, voice message, or even video call. It's like having a study buddy who lives anywhere in the world. Speak with friends in English. If you have friends who already speak English fluently, take advantage of that opportunity. Try using English when you chat with them, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. You don't have to speak perfectly. The goal is to get comfortable expressing yourself. Maybe you can agree to have one English-only day each week or switch to English for a short part of your daily conversations. These small changes make a big difference over time. Join online classes or speaking clubs. Another great way to immerse yourself in English is by joining online English classes or speaking clubs. Many online platforms connect you with native speakers for one-on-one lessons, for example, Italki, Cambly, or Preply. These lessons are relaxed, and you can choose topics that interest you: travel, culture, work, or everyday life. You can also join speaking clubs or group sessions online, where you talk with other learners and native speakers. It's a safe, friendly environment to practice speaking without fear of making mistakes. Read in English every day. Reading is another powerful way to immerse yourself in English. It helps you build vocabulary, understand grammar naturally, and see how sentences are structured. You don't have to read long or difficult books. The key is to read something every day. Here are a few ideas to get started. Books. Choose books that match your level. If you're a beginner, try short stories or children's books. They use simple words and clear grammar. As you improve, move on to more advanced books or novels. Articles and blogs. Read about topics you enjoy: sports, health, fashion, travel, or technology. When you read what you love, learning feels effortless and fun. News in English. Reading news helps you learn formal vocabulary and stay updated on world events. Websites like BBC Learning English or News in Levels are great for learners. They use simple English and explain difficult words clearly. Reading just 10 minutes a day can help you notice new expressions and understand how English really works in context. Write in English regularly. Writing might not seem like part of immersion, but it's actually a great way to deepen your learning. When you write, you practice using new words and grammar, and you strengthen what you've already learned. Start small. You don't need to write essays. You can keep a short English journal. Write about your day, your goals, or something you learned. For example, today I listened to an English podcast about travel. I learned new words like adventure and explore. Writing like this helps you remember vocabulary and get comfortable expressing your thoughts in English. You can also write online, join English-speaking communities, comment on YouTube videos, or post on social media in English. The more you write, the more natural it will feel. Join online communities. Immersion becomes easier when you're part of a community. Find online forums, chat groups, or Facebook pages where people discuss things you're interested in: movies, technology, hobbies, or learning tips. By reading and replying to comments, you'll practice real, everyday English. You'll see how native speakers write and communicate, and you'll start using those same patterns naturally. The power of consistency. Now, here's the most important part: consistency. The secret to immersion isn't how much time you spend in one day, but how often you do it. Even 15 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference if you do it consistently. At first, you may not notice the progress. But after a few weeks or months, you'll realize you understand more, speak more confidently, and even start thinking in English. Just like how you learned your first language, improvement happens slowly, but it happens naturally. Focus on listening and speaking. When it comes to learning English effortlessly, two skills matter the most: listening and speaking. These are the foundation of communication, and they're the most natural ways to learn a language. In a traditional classroom, learners often spend a lot of time reading and writing, but very little time listening or speaking. That's why many people can understand English grammar, but still struggle to have a simple conversation. So let's look at why these two skills are so important and how you can practice them effectively. Why listening and speaking matter. Listening helps you understand how English works in real life. When you listen to native speakers, you hear real pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. You learn how words connect in natural speech and how sentences flow together. Even if you don't understand every word, your brain is still learning. It's getting used to the sound of English. Over time, you'll find yourself understanding more and more without having to translate. Speaking, on the other hand, helps you build confidence and fluency. Every time you speak, even if you make mistakes, you're training your brain to use English automatically. The more you speak, the easier it becomes. Remember, fluency doesn't mean speaking perfectly. It means speaking comfortably and naturally. Perfection comes later. What matters now is communication. In summary, to immerse yourself in English and learn effortlessly, find a language partner or join a speaking club. Talk with friends in English whenever possible. Read and write in English every day. Join online communities where people communicate in English. Most importantly, listen and speak often. Consistency, curiosity, and enjoyment are your best teachers. The more English you bring into your life, the easier it becomes. Soon, you won't just be studying English, you'll be living it. Podcast segment: Building Confidence in Speaking and Listening. Welcome back, everyone. In this part of our journey, we're going to focus on something that many English learners struggle with: confidence in speaking and developing strong listening skills. These two go hand in hand, and together, they form the heart of real communication. The importance of confidence in speaking. Confidence in speaking is essential. When you speak, you're not just using English, you're actively practicing it. Many learners spend a lot of time reading and writing, which is great, but they often forget about speaking. The truth is, the more you speak, the more confident you become. Speaking forces you to think quickly, to recall vocabulary and grammar in real time. At first, it might feel slow or uncomfortable, but every conversation is training your brain to respond faster and more naturally. Over time, you'll notice that you start forming sentences automatically, without translating in your head. That's how fluency grows, through consistent, active speaking. Remember, confidence doesn't mean speaking perfectly. It means speaking without fear, even if you make mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. They're signs that you're learning and improving. Listening and speaking are connected. Listening and speaking always work together. When you listen to English, you hear new words, expressions, and sentence patterns. Later, you'll find yourself using those same phrases when you speak. Think of listening as input and speaking as output. By listening carefully, you're feeding your brain the right sounds, rhythms, and expressions so that when it's time to speak, your brain already knows what sounds right. That's why improving your listening skills naturally leads to better speaking skills. How to improve your listening skills? Improving your listening doesn't mean spending hours with boring textbooks or memorizing difficult exercises. It's about making English listening a fun and regular part of your life. Here are some easy and enjoyable ways to do that. Listen to content you enjoy. The most important rule is to listen to English content you actually enjoy. When you're interested, your brain stays active and you learn faster. You can choose anything that fits your interests: podcasts, music, TV shows, movies, or audiobooks. If you like stories, listen to English storytelling podcasts. If you enjoy news or sports, find English channels that cover those topics. For example, you can start with English learning podcasts like English Amazing Podcast. They use natural language, clear pronunciation, and interesting topics that make learning fun. Try listening while doing everyday tasks: cooking, cleaning, exercising, or commuting. This turns your free time into learning time without extra effort. Use subtitles or transcripts. If you're watching English movies or TV shows, start with subtitles in your native language. Once you feel more comfortable, switch to English subtitles. This helps you connect the spoken words with their written form, improving both your listening and reading at the same time. Many podcasts and audiobooks also include transcripts. Reading while listening helps you notice how words are pronounced, how sentences sound, and how phrases connect naturally in speech. 3. Practice active listening. Active listening means really focusing on what you hear. Don't just play something in the background. Give your full attention. Listen for specific things like new vocabulary, common phrases, idioms, the speaker's tone and rhythm. Try pausing and repeating short parts. Imitate what you hear. This helps you improve pronunciation and speaking fluency at the same time. Listen to slow and clear English. When you're just starting out, it's helpful to listen to slow and clear English. Many learners find native speakers difficult to follow because they speak fast and use informal expressions. To make it easier, look for content made specifically for learners. For example, YouTube channels, podcasts, or audiobooks designed for English students. These are usually slower, clearer, and easier to understand. As you get better, start listening to more natural, faster English. Your ears will gradually adapt to the speed and rhythm of native speech. How to improve your speaking skills. Now that you know how to build your listening habits, let's talk about speaking, the skill that truly brings your English to life. Speaking requires practice, but the good news is you don't have to be perfect to start. In fact, the best way to improve speaking is to start speaking, even if you're not ready. Every time you speak, you train your brain to think in English and express ideas faster. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Here are a few simple ways to practice speaking every day, even if you don't have a partner. Talk to yourself in English. Describe what you're doing, thinking, or planning. For example, I'm making coffee, or I need to finish my homework before lunch. It may feel strange at first, but it's great practice. Record yourself speaking. Choose a topic, speak for 1 or 2 minutes, then listen to the recording. Notice your pronunciation, fluency, and word choice. You'll be surprised at how much progress you make over time. Imitate native speakers. Pick a short clip from a movie, TV show, or podcast. Listen carefully and repeat exactly what you hear. Try to copy the rhythm, tone, and emotion. This helps you sound more natural and confident. Join speaking clubs or online conversations. Many apps and websites, like Tandem, HelloTalk, or Italki, connect you with native speakers or other learners. You can talk freely, exchange languages, and make learning fun and social. Speak without fear of mistakes. Remember, everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. What matters most is that you keep speaking. The more you speak, the more fluent and confident you become. In summary, confidence in speaking grows through action, not perfection. The more you listen and speak, the faster your English will improve. Listen to content you love. Use subtitles and transcripts. Practice active listening. Speak every day, even a little. Focus on communication, not perfection. Listening fills your mind with language. Speaking gives your mind a voice. Together, they make English a natural part of who you are. Speaking with confidence and learning vocabulary in context. Let's talk about one of the most important and sometimes the most challenging parts of learning English: speaking confidently. Many learners feel nervous or shy when it's time to speak, but remember this: the more you speak, the more fluent and confident you will become. Speak as much as possible. One of the best ways to improve your speaking skills is simply to speak. It might feel intimidating at first, but every time you speak, you're giving your brain valuable practice. Don't wait until you feel ready. The truth is, you become ready by speaking regularly. If you don't have anyone to talk to in person, there are still many ways to practice. Use online platforms where you can speak with native speakers or other learners. Websites and apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky are great for finding conversation partners. Talk to yourself in English. Describe your day, your plans, or what you're thinking about. For example, say things like, "I'm cooking dinner right now," or "Tomorrow, I'm going to visit my friend." This habit helps you think in English and builds fluency over time. Record yourself speaking. Choose a topic, talk for a few minutes, and then listen to your recording. Notice how you sound, your pronunciation, your rhythm, and the words you use. This will help you identify what you can improve and also show you how much progress you're making. Don't fear mistakes. A lot of learners are afraid of making mistakes when they speak. But mistakes are a natural and necessary part of learning. Every mistake is a small step toward improvement. The key is not to stop or feel embarrassed. Simply learn from it and move forward. Over time, you'll make fewer mistakes because your brain will naturally adjust and remember the correct forms. Remember this: no one becomes fluent without making mistakes. Even native speakers make them. So speak freely and focus on progress, not perfection. Find a language exchange partner. If you want to practice speaking with someone else, finding a language exchange partner is a great option. A language exchange means you help someone learn your native language and, in return, they help you practice English. You can spend half the time speaking in English and the other half in your own language. It's a fun and supportive way to learn while making new friends. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, and Speaky are perfect for this. You can chat, voice call, or even video call with your partner from anywhere in the world. Join online speaking clubs or classes. There are many online communities where learners come together to practice English. Look for virtual speaking clubs, conversation groups, or online classes. You can join group discussions, talk one-on-one with teachers, or practice with other learners who share your goals. Regular practice in a friendly, supportive environment will quickly build your confidence and fluency. Websites like Italki, Cambly, or Preply offer one-on-one lessons with native speakers. Even 15 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference. Imitate native speakers, the shadowing technique. A very powerful way to improve pronunciation and fluency is by imitating native speakers. This method is called shadowing. Here's how it works. Choose a short clip from a movie, TV show, or podcast. Listen carefully to how the speaker talks, their tone, rhythm, and pronunciation. Then try to repeat the same words at the same time as the speaker. This technique helps you sound more natural and trains your ear to recognize real English speech patterns. With regular practice, your accent, flow, and confidence will all improve. Set realistic speaking goals. To stay motivated, set small, achievable speaking goals. You don't need to make big promises, focus on progress. For example, I'll have a 5-minute conversation in English every day. I'll introduce myself in front of a mirror. I'll record myself talking about my favorite movie. These small goals will keep you consistent and help you build confidence step by step. Remember, consistency always beats intensity. The power of combining listening and speaking. The real magic happens when you combine listening and speaking. The more you listen, the more natural phrases, expressions, and sentence structures you'll absorb. Then, when you speak, you'll start using them automatically. Listening fills your mind with language patterns. Speaking reinforces them. Together, they create a learning cycle where each skill supports the other. Over time, you'll start to understand English more easily, speak more smoothly, and think in English without translating. That's when English becomes effortless. Learn vocabulary in context. Now let's talk about another key part of learning English, vocabulary. Many learners try to memorize long lists of words, but that method rarely works well. You might remember the words for a short time, but forget them when you need to use them. Instead, the best way to learn and remember vocabulary is to learn it in context. Why learning vocabulary in context matters. Learning vocabulary in context means learning words as they appear in real-life situations, not as isolated words on a list. It's not just about memorizing a definition, but understanding how the word is used in a sentence, a story, or a conversation. Here's why this method is so powerful. It improves memory. When you learn a word inside a meaningful sentence, your brain creates a picture of that word in action. This mental image makes it much easier to remember and recall the word later. It helps you use words naturally. You learn not just what the word means, but how it's used. For example, you don't just learn the word decision, you also learn common phrases like make a decision or tough decision. It builds a deeper understanding. Context shows you how words change depending on the situation. For example, the word run can mean many different things. Run fast, move quickly. Run a business, manage. Run out of time, have no time left. Learning these phrases in context helps you sound more natural and fluent. Review and repeat regularly. Consistency is key to retaining vocabulary. Revisit the words and phrases you've learned in previous days or weeks. You can do this by rereading passages, rewatching scenes, or re-listening to podcasts where those words appeared. Repetition in different contexts reinforces understanding and memory. Tip: create a personal vocabulary journal. Write new words, their meanings, example sentences, and even short notes about where you first saw or heard them, a movie, a podcast, or a book. Review it a few minutes each day. This helps your brain retain and recall them easily. Combine multiple methods. Don't rely on just one way of learning. Mix reading, listening, speaking, and writing activities. For example, you might learn a new word from a story, hear it again in a podcast, then try using it in conversation. This cross-exposure helps you internalize vocabulary more deeply and use it naturally. Make vocabulary personal, connect new words to your own life and experiences. When a word relates to something meaningful or familiar, it becomes much easier to remember. For instance, if you learn the word adventure, you can write, "My last trip to the mountains was an adventure." Personalizing vocabulary turns abstract language into something alive and memorable. Final thoughts. Learning vocabulary in context transforms your English journey from memorization into real communication. Every time you read, listen, or speak, you're building stronger connections between words, meanings, and experiences. Remember, fluency doesn't come from memorizing hundreds of words. It comes from understanding how to use them naturally in real situations. 1. Set small, achievable goals. Start with short, focused study sessions. Even 10 to 20 minutes a day can make a big difference. The key is not how long you practice, but how regularly you do it. For example, Monday, watch a short English video and repeat key sentences. Tuesday, read a short article and underline new words. Wednesday, practice speaking for 5 minutes about your day. Tip: write your daily goals somewhere visible, a notebook, phone reminder, or calendar, to help you stay on track. 2. Mix your practice activities to stay motivated. Combine different types of English practice. Listening, podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos. Speaking, talk with a partner or record yourself. Reading, short stories, news, or blogs. Writing, short journals, captions, or summaries. This variety keeps learning interesting and helps you strengthen all 4 language skills together. 3. Make English part of your daily life. You don't need to study formally all the time. Use English naturally throughout your day. Change your phone or app settings to English. Think in English when planning or describing what you're doing. Read product labels, signs, or menus in English whenever possible. These small habits immerse your brain in English and make it feel more natural over time. 4. Track your progress. Keep a simple log of what you study each day, what you listened to, read, or spoke about. Seeing your progress builds motivation and helps you stay consistent. Tip: record short speaking samples every few weeks. When you listen back later, you'll be surprised by how much your pronunciation, fluency, and confidence have improved. 5. Stay patient and positive. Language learning is a long journey, not a sprint. Some days will feel easy, others might feel frustrating. That's completely normal. What matters is showing up every day, even for a few minutes. Progress often happens quietly, then suddenly becomes visible. Final thought: practicing consistently, not intensively, is the real key to success. A few minutes of focused effort every day builds stronger, longer-lasting fluency than hours of cramming once a week. Stay steady, stay curious, and let your daily English practice become a natural part of your life. Practicing consistently, Now that you understand why consistency is so important, let's explore some practical ways to practice English regularly without feeling tired or overwhelmed. 1. Set a realistic schedule. The first step to consistent practice is to create a schedule that fits your daily life. You don't need to study for hours every day. Even 15 to 20 minutes of focused practice can make a big difference if you do it every day. For example, practice speaking for 10 minutes in the morning. Read or listen to something in English before bed. Review vocabulary while you're having breakfast or waiting for a bus. The key is regularity, not the length of each session. It's better to practice a little every day than to study for hours once a week. Short daily sessions help keep English fresh in your mind and prevent you from forgetting what you've learned. Tip: write your study time in your calendar or set an alarm on your phone. Treat it like an appointment with yourself that you can't miss. 2. Incorporate English into your daily life. One of the easiest ways to practice consistently is to make English part of your daily routine. You don't always need to study, you can live in English by surrounding yourself with the language. Here are a few simple ideas. Listen to English podcasts or music while commuting or exercising. Watch English TV shows or YouTube videos during your free time. Read short articles, social media posts, or books in English. Change your phone and social media language to English. The more you expose yourself to English, the more natural it becomes. These small daily interactions help you learn without even realizing it. Tip: look for small moments throughout your day to use English. Even a few minutes of practice adds up over time. 3. Use language learning apps. Language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or Anki are great tools for daily practice. They offer short, fun lessons that fit easily into your schedule. You can complete a lesson while waiting in line, riding a bus, or during a short break. These apps often include vocabulary, grammar, listening, and pronunciation practice, all in a few minutes a day. Tip: set a small daily goal, such as learning 10 new words or finishing one short lesson. Small, consistent steps lead to big progress over time. 4. Practice speaking with a partner. Speaking is one of the most important parts of language learning, and the best way to improve it is to practice regularly. If you don't have anyone nearby to talk to, you can find language partners online. There are many websites and apps where you can chat or talk with English learners or native speakers, such as HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky. Try to schedule short conversations, even 10 or 15 minutes, a few times a week. Each time you speak, you'll build more confidence and fluency. Tip: don't worry about mistakes. Everyone makes them. Each conversation helps you improve. The more you practice, the easier speaking will become. 5. Track your progress. Keeping track of your progress helps you stay motivated and consistent. You can use a notebook, app, or journal to record what you've learned. Write down new vocabulary words and example sentences, grammar points you've practiced, how long you studied or spoke in English each day. When you look back, you'll see how far you've come, and that will inspire you to keep going. Tip: review your progress every week or month. Celebrate your improvements, no matter how small they seem. 6. Set achievable goals. Setting small, realistic goals keeps you focused and motivated. Don't aim for perfection, focus on progress. For example, learn 10 new words each week. Have a 5-minute English conversation by the end of the month. Watch one English video without subtitles each week. These small wins build your confidence and make learning enjoyable. Tip: break large goals into smaller steps. When goals feel easy to reach, you'll stay motivated and avoid frustration. 7. Make practice enjoyable. One of the biggest secrets to consistency is having fun. If you enjoy learning English, you'll look forward to practicing every day. Find activities that you actually enjoy. If you love movies, watch English films with subtitles. If you like music, listen to English songs, and try to understand the lyrics. If you enjoy reading, explore English blogs, comics, or stories. When learning is fun, it doesn't feel like work. It becomes a natural part of your life. Tip: combine learning with your hobbies. For example, if you enjoy cooking, watch English recipe videos. If you like sports, follow English-speaking athletes or sports channels. Final thoughts. Consistency is the key to real progress. You don't have to study for long hours, just practice a little every day. Each small step you take adds up, and over time, your confidence, vocabulary, and fluency will grow naturally. Remember, don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. Keep practicing, stay curious, and make English a part of your everyday life. If you stay consistent, you'll be amazed at how much you can achieve. Enjoy the process and stay positive. The more you enjoy the process of learning English, the more likely you are to practice regularly. When learning feels fun and interesting, it doesn't feel like work, it becomes something you actually look forward to. If you force yourself to do things you don't enjoy, it's easy to lose motivation. That's why finding enjoyable ways to practice is so important. 1. Make learning fun. Learning English doesn't have to mean reading textbooks or memorizing grammar rules all the time. You can improve your skills through fun and engaging activities. Here are some ideas. Watch movies, dramas, or YouTube videos in English that match your interests. Listen to English songs and try to understand the lyrics. Read books, comics, or blogs about topics you like. Play games in English or join online communities that discuss your hobbies. When you do things you love in English, you'll practice without feeling tired or bored. Tip: don't force yourself to study something that feels dull or difficult. Choose activities that keep you excited and curious about learning. 2. Avoid the trap of intensity. Many learners think they must study for hours every day to get better quickly. While that might seem effective at first, it often leads to frustration and burnout. Learning English is not about how many hours you study in one sitting, it's about how consistent you are over time. Studying too much at once can make your brain tired and reduce motivation. But small, regular study sessions are easier to maintain and far more effective in the long run. It's better to study for 20 minutes every day than for 3 hours once a week. Daily exposure helps your brain stay connected to the language and absorb it naturally. Tip: if you ever feel tired, bored, or stressed, take a short break. Relax for a while, and then come back refreshed. Consistent, enjoyable practice over time always gives better results than trying to do everything at once. Stay positive and motivated. Learning English, like any new skill, can be challenging. There will be moments when you feel stuck or think you're not improving fast enough. This is completely normal. Every learner goes through ups and downs. What really matters is your mindset. Staying positive and motivated will help you move forward even when progress feels slow. Let's look at why a positive attitude is so important and how you can keep your motivation strong. 1. A positive mindset overcomes doubt and fear. It's natural to feel nervous when learning a new language. You might worry about making mistakes, sounding strange, or not improving quickly enough. But remember, every mistake you make is actually helping you learn. Every time you try, you're getting closer to fluency. When you stay positive, you can push through self-doubt and fear. You start to believe in your ability to learn, and that belief gives you the strength to keep going. Tip: when you feel discouraged, remind yourself of how far you've already come. Think about the words, phrases, or sentences you couldn't say a few months ago. Now you can. That's real progress. 2. Positivity increases motivation. When you believe in yourself, you stay motivated. A positive mindset gives you energy and enthusiasm. You'll want to learn more, explore more, and keep improving. But if you focus on negative thoughts, like "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never be fluent," you'll quickly lose interest and feel unmotivated. Positive thinking keeps the excitement alive. You start enjoying the process rather than worrying about the results. Tip: replace negative thoughts with encouraging ones. Instead of saying, "My English is bad," say, "I'm improving every day." A small change in attitude makes a big difference. 3. Positivity builds resilience. Every learner faces difficulties, whether it's remembering vocabulary, understanding native speakers, or speaking confidently. But a positive attitude helps you handle challenges better. When you face a problem with a smile and say, "This is a chance to learn something new," it becomes easier to keep going. Each challenge makes you stronger and more confident. Tip: when something feels hard, don't see it as a failure. See it as part of your growth. Every step, even a small one, brings you closer to fluency. 4. Positive emotions improve memory. Science shows that when you're happy and relaxed, your brain learns better. You remember words more easily, understand ideas faster, and stay focused longer. But when you're stressed or frustrated, it's harder for your brain to absorb new information. That's why a calm, positive attitude helps you learn faster and more effectively. Tip: create a happy learning environment. Study in a comfortable space, listen to music if you like, and celebrate small successes. How to stay motivated every day. Here are some simple ways to keep your motivation high while learning English. Set clear goals. Know what you want to achieve. For example, I want to hold a short conversation in English by next month. Celebrate small wins. Every new word, every successful conversation, every improvement is progress. Surround yourself with English. The more you hear, see, and speak English, the more confident you'll feel. Join a community. Learning with others keeps you encouraged and makes practice fun. Be patient. Fluency takes time. Don't rush, enjoy the process, and trust yourself. Final thoughts. Staying positive and consistent is the real secret to learning English effortlessly. When you enjoy the process, keep your motivation high, and practice a little every day, you'll start to see big results over time. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. They're part of learning. Progress might be slow, but it's happening. Every word you learn brings you one step closer to fluency. So stay positive, keep practicing, and most importantly, enjoy your English journey. Glowing star. How to stay motivated while learning English. Staying motivated is one of the most important parts of learning English. There will be times when studying feels easy and fun, but there will also be days when you feel tired or stuck. That's completely normal. The key is to keep your motivation strong, even when progress feels slow. Here are some practical and simple ways to stay motivated throughout your English learning journey. 1. Set clear and achievable goals. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to set clear, realistic goals. When your goals are specific and manageable, you can see real progress step by step. Instead of saying, "I want to speak English fluently," which can feel too big and distant, start with smaller, short-term goals. For example, learn 5 new words every week. Watch a short English video and write down new phrases. Hold a simple conversation with someone in English by the end of the month. Small goals are easier to reach, and each success will make you feel more confident. Tip: keep your goals realistic and specific. Don't try to do too much at once. Celebrate every small win. Each success will build your momentum and keep you excited to learn more. 2. Track your progress. Sometimes it feels like you're not improving, especially when learning takes time. But if you look back, you'll realize how much you've already learned. Tracking your progress helps you see real results and reminds you that you are growing every day. You might not notice it in the moment, but small improvements add up over time. Tip: keep a journal, notebook, or use an app to record your progress. Write down new words you've learned, grammar rules you've practiced, and conversations you've had. Every few weeks, look back at your earlier notes. You'll be surprised at how far you've come. 3. Find your why. Ask yourself, why am I learning English? Your reason, your why, will give you strength when learning feels hard. Maybe you want to get a better job or study abroad. Travel and communicate easily with people around the world. Watch movies, read books, or enjoy music in English. Connect with international friends or family. Whatever your reason is, make it clear to yourself. When you have a strong purpose, it's easier to stay focused and positive. Tip: write down your reasons for learning English and keep them somewhere visible, maybe on your wall, phone, or notebook. When you feel discouraged, read them again to remind yourself why you started. 4. Celebrate small wins. Learning English is a long journey, and it's easy to focus only on the big goal, fluency. But don't forget to celebrate the small victories along the way. Every time you understand a new word, finish a lesson, or have a short conversation in English, that's progress worth celebrating. Tip: reward yourself for your achievements. Treat yourself to your favorite food, watch a movie, or take a break doing something you love. Positive reinforcement helps your brain associate learning with happiness, and that keeps you motivated to continue. 5. Mix up your learning methods. Doing the same kind of study every day can become boring. To keep things fresh, try using different ways to learn English. Variety keeps your mind active and makes learning enjoyable. Here are some ideas. Watch English movies or TV shows with subtitles. Listen to podcasts or songs and repeat what you hear. Read short stories, news articles, or blogs in English. Join a language exchange group or chat online with English speakers. Trying new things helps you stay engaged and improves your skills in different ways. Tip: experiment with different methods and find what works best for you. If one method feels boring, switch to another. Keeping your routine fresh will make learning more exciting. 6. Surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with can strongly affect your motivation. Surround yourself with people who encourage and inspire you. You can connect with other English learners, supportive friends, or family members who cheer you on. When you share your goals and progress with others, it helps you stay accountable and motivated. Tip: join online language learning communities or find a language partner to practice speaking with. These groups provide encouragement, advice, and the opportunity to meet others on the same journey as you. Together, you'll stay inspired and grow faster. 7. Embrace mistakes and learn from them. Mistakes are a natural part of learning any new skill, especially a language. Everyone makes them, even native speakers. The important thing is how you respond to them. Instead of feeling embarrassed or frustrated, see mistakes as opportunities to grow. Each time you make an error, you discover something new you didn't know before. Tip: when you make a mistake, don't be too hard on yourself. Think about what went wrong, learn from it, and move on. Every mistake brings you one step closer to mastering English. 8. Dealing with frustration. There will be days when you feel stuck or tired, and that's okay. Learning a language is a long process, not a quick race. The best thing you can do is stay patient and kind to yourself. If you ever feel frustrated, take a short break and relax. Do something fun in English, like listening to a favorite song or watching a funny video. Remind yourself that progress takes time and effort, and you are improving, even if you can't see it yet. Remember, consistency is more powerful than intensity. Keep moving forward, one step at a time, and you'll get there. Final thoughts. Staying motivated is about finding balance between effort and enjoyment, focus and fun. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to keep going. Set goals, track your progress, celebrate your wins, and never be afraid to make mistakes. Every small effort adds up to something great. With patience, positivity, and consistent practice, you'll not only learn English, you'll enjoy the journey every step of the way.